We are here to speak about the breaking news that we've had today about Jurgen Klopp, the manager of Liverpool, deciding to leave the club at the end of the season. This has come from absolutely nowhere. Nobody suspected this. Nobody thought this news was going to come out. There's been no inkling that Jurgen Klopp was planning to leave, but he announced today that he is leaving Liverpool at the end of the season. And we could go to nobody else to get a reaction to it than Alex AGT from the COP TV Liverpool fan channel. Wow, AGT, first of all, did you see this coming?
No, I don't think anyone did. And I think the shock factor of this news has made it a little bit more difficult to actually kind of digest. No one saw it coming. It's totally out of the blue. Not for Jurgen. He apparently told the club in November. And obviously the club has kept it under their hat for 2 months. So it's been coming from inside the camp, but outside, it's, as a Liverpool fan right now, and I'm sure many people watching this who are Liverpool fans right now, there's just no words really. It's kind of a numb feeling, you know. He's been around for 9 years. Tegan actually just texted me saying she's gutted as well because it's an end of an era, because when me and her got together, he joined Liverpool. So yeah, listen, it's totally heartbreaking. It's out of the blue. Obviously discussions will have already started as to who replaces Klopp, but at the minute I don't really want to focus on that. It's more just kind of digesting the news and getting over.
Yeah, I mean, 9 years he's been so successful. You know, when he took over Liverpool, you know, I mean, Liverpool's a bit down. He's won you the league. He's won you Champions Leagues. He's won everything in domestic football. He's an elite manager. He's a huge manager. He's more than just your average manager as well, because I mean, I've been up to Anfield many a times, and I remember I was up there last year and he came out and he was in his car. I remember he even gave me a little smile and a wave and everything, and you could see that he absolutely loves that city. He's passionate about the people there, the way the people reacted to him and the way he reacts with them. It's more than just, you know, a football club for him. And he's actually come out and said that he will not manage another club in England. But he's going to be very hard to replace, isn't he?
Irreplaceable. You can't replace Jurgen Klopp with another Jurgen Klopp. Another Jurgen Klopp doesn't exist. So we're also hearing that all of the backroom staff will be leaving as well. The director of sport will be leaving as well. So it's going to be from next season a totally clean slate with whoever comes in. And I don't think I've ever seen a manager, because let's be honest, this time last year there was a lot of doubters. There was a lot of people saying seventh season syndrome, etc., etc. But when you actually look at the turnaround that he's managed to complete, and if he does leave at the end of the season, I don't really remember any manager leaving a club on the incline. It's normally going down a bit, so let me get out the back door. But listen, if it is the truth, if he is definitely leaving, which he's over-exaggerated in the 25-minute interview he's done with the club's official channel today, then he'll be leaving us in an exceptional place. And let's not forget, there's still 30 games potentially for Liverpool to play this season. There's still potentially 4 trophies to win. So if he does go on and you know, leaves in the best way possible, then I mean, unless you can tell me another manager who's left the team on the incline like that, with young players, with a rebuild, with full trust and belief, I guess the only thing now for us to do is obviously, you know, crack on, business as usual. Don't let the emotion get the better of us. But mate, you can guarantee every single Liverpool game now is just going to be filled with emotion and the real want to send Jurgen out in the best way possible.
Do you think it's strange? Is it not strange, right, that it's dropped now? I mean, I would have thought maybe we might have waited till nearer to the end of the season, maybe, to make an announcement. Also, do you not feel it's strange that you said this has been, he let the board know from November, but he's just been in the process of rebuilding the team, building a new side, which he's doing brilliantly with. I mean, he only lost one game this season, and even that game was a dodgy one at refereeing decisions, etc. at Tottenham. But he's rebuilt this team. You're top of the league, like you said. You're still in 4 competitions. Why would he leave now? It just seems strange.
I think the initial thing was maybe health. But again, I've just sat here and watched the whole 25-minute interview. He's assuring Liverpool fans that it isn't. He says he's healthy.
Yeah.
So then you think, well, he's 56, Robbie. It's not really old, if I'm honest. It's not old at all. So you've seen the Wengers, you've seen the Fergusons go well in, the Hodgsons, so many others go well into their 70s. And I think Liverpool fans saw his age and thought, oh, we've got Jurgen for a lot longer. And also his current contract, he'd have to be slicing 2 years off his current deal because that finishes in 2026. Again, you know, his wife, Ula, she was the one that actually convinced him to re-sign the last deal. And then there was even questions to say, well, will he sign again? Will he give us another 2 or 3 years after the 2 years that we've still got, the 2.5 years? So I agree, the timing of it is just really weird. It was obviously his decision, Robbie, to announce this on his own terms, you know, do the video himself so none of his words get misconstrued or twisted. So if it isn't a health thing, it genuinely must just be what he's saying in the video, which is, you know, it's an energy thing. He hasn't got the energy. He said, when you're driving a car at 180 miles an hour, you need to go to the petrol station because you run out of petrol, and I've run out. But obviously, there's still
which seems weird because he's showing this season that he's still got so much to offer. I mean, obviously managing a club like Liverpool must be super intense. The way in which he plays and everything he does around football is all about intensity. You know what I mean? The Jurgen press, it's all about intensity. The way he works, the way he is when you see him on the touchline, it's all about intensity. So I'm sure that must take its toll over a period of time. But it's just seeming really strange that he's going to be no longer at Liverpool. What does that do for Liverpool from now till the end of the season? Because, like you said, you're still in everything on all fronts. Does that emotion now start to affect Liverpool? Is there an increased amount of pressure on the players to perform? And do you think that, you know, other sides might look on it and think, all right, well, next season, no Klopp, that gives them a chance? Because certainly as an Arsenal fan, when I heard the news, I'm thinking, well, going forward in the future, you know, it's good news for, say, a team like Arsenal that an elite manager of his ability is no longer going to be around.
Yeah, what does it do? I mean, it could go down one of two roads. I think the first road is everyone just increases the intensity, increases the passion from the stands, increases the performance, and we go on and do an absolute incredible season from here on in. The Premier League still to play for. We could win a European Cup, still in the FA Cup. We're in a final of the Carabao Cup. So who's to say that we don't go on and give him the absolute best send-off of all time? The other road is potentially over-emotive. You know, obviously I've been getting loads of texts from rival fans saying, hold this and hold that, and which is obviously all just jealousy because they wish a manager like that would be at their club. And I guess them fans are thinking, well, could Liverpool be too emotional? And could we, you know, fall at the final hurdle? Could other teams exploit that? I mean, if I was an Arsenal fan, if I was a City fan especially, if I was a Chelsea fan, Man United, you're going to be over the moon because you're seeing a top elite manager leaving your biggest rival. I mean, again, we'll have to decide who comes in. I think the names on the list are pretty much certain. I mean, Xabi Alonso.
Xabi Alonso's the
is obviously the obvious one who's leading the bookmakers' polls at the minute.
Who else is in that?
I've seen De Zerbi. I've seen Pep Linders on the list as well, who's obviously the assistant, who the club have confirmed that him, Peter Krawietz, and also Victor Matos, who is the development coach, will be leaving. Jorg Schmadtke as well.
So it can't be Pep Linders then if he's leaving?
Well, yeah, I don't think it will be Pep Linders, but is there anyone who knows the club and knows Jurgen's philosophies more than Pep Linders? Maybe not. So again, he's a valid candidate.
Who would you want? Who would you want going forward?
Again, it's so early. I mean, I've literally found out this news out an hour and a half ago. It's so early, but I guess football doesn't wait for any man. You have to move on and look who's next. So me personally, with the news that Carlo Ancelotti is signing a new deal at Real Madrid, that tells me that Xabi Alonso won't be going there. He has got a clause in his contract at Leverkusen to say that if he is to leave, it can only be one of his former clubs in Bayern, Real and Liverpool. So again, because it's so early, I almost don't want to talk about it now because he is still our manager and he's still got 30-odd games to play. But if you're pushing me for an answer, Rob, if I had to choose right now, it would be Xabi Alonso.
What does this do as well now, because Klopp is such a huge figure. What does this do for certain players? I'm thinking Mo Salah.
Mo Salah,
right?
Yeah.
Does he
Trent.
now look on it and, he'd be over there in Egypt. I don't know if he would have known this was coming. Does he start to look at it and think, well, if Jurgen's not going to be here, maybe it's time for me to move on? What does it do to players like, even players that are under still long contracts, but players like a Virgil van Dijk or a Trent Alexander-Arnold who might look on it and say, well, maybe it's time, I've done everything at Liverpool, maybe at the end of the season, I may have done everything at Liverpool now, may have won another title, may have done it all under Klopp. Now that he's going, actually, maybe it's time for me to go as well and go and find out.
I hope
pastures new. Do you worry that could be a knock-on effect of this?
I don't worry about it, because even after everything you've just mentioned there's still way more to achieve, Robbie. We've not completed football, by the way. There's still more
but those players kind of have, haven't they?
Those players play for the Liverpool club, Robbie, not Jurgen Klopp.
No, but
they have.
Yeah, but he's such a huge influence, isn't he?
I know. Listen, if someone wants to think that, then I don't know. Do the players know this?
I'm just saying.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, if you're a Trent Alexander-Arnold, say, for instance, and
sign him up on a long-term deal.
You've heard some rumours already about. There's been rumours that I heard a couple of weeks ago about Real Madrid and teams like that. Would love a player like him. Now,
everyone would.
Let's just say it was a concrete interest in him. There isn't at the moment. It's just all rumours. Would a player like that look and say, "Well, I did it all for Liverpool under Jurgen. I've won everything. Pasture's new now. I'm looking at what Bellingham's doing." Do you worry about those things? Salah, as I said, is the real obvious one.
I don't worry. I don't worry, because obviously there's a plan in place. The players would have got reassurances that the club are doing everything they can to find the best replacement. Again, we have to emphasise there's still so much to play for this season. So there's no way that a Trent or a Virgil or a Mo Salah is thinking at this point, mid-January, is thinking with one eye on the door. There's no way. They've got so much at stake to still play for that they have to be committed and do that. Listen, at the end of the season, obviously there's going to have to be... It's very similar to when Gerard Houllier left. I remember Rafa Benitez came in and had a meeting straight away with Owen Carragher and Gerrard. Owen was told that we're buying Djibril Cissé, you're not going to be needed. If it is a Xabi Alonso, you would imagine that the talks or the meetings would have maybe even started. I mean, if the club knew about this in November, they're obviously keeping an eye on Alonso's movements in Germany, keeping an eye on Real Madrid's movements, maybe Bayern as well. So if it is Xabi Alonso that comes in, he's going to have to come in and sit down with the maybe the head of the families, the commission at Liverpool, the top players, the leadership group, and reassure them what the plan is, the direction of the club. And like I said, Rob, we're on the incline. This isn't a declining team. This is a rebirth team who will go again and again and again. So the foundations have already been put in place by Jurgen Klopp for the next manager to come in and just keep going. So, I mean, listen, if Liverpool win it all this summer, and that includes the Premier League, the Europa Cup, why would you want to leave? No matter who the manager is, there's no reason to leave. So the top players, and you mentioned Trent, he's going to have to get signed on a long-term deal to reassure the club that we're not a selling club. And in a situation like this, it's about a new manager, but it's about just carrying on, Rob.
Yep.
So the players have to actually, believe in the next manager. But before they even get to that stage mentally of thinking, right, there's a new manager coming, you have to go and achieve everything you possibly can do for Jurgen and for the assistant managers. Look, Pep Linders, Peter, they've been with Jurgen for years and years, Rob. So I can imagine the tears that have gone into this decision. You heard just a snippet of the interview there. He's obviously consulted his wife, Ula. She's a massive part in this. So, mate, I mean, you saw me coming in like
you look devastated. I'm
devastated. I'm heartbroken.
Absolutely devastated and heartbroken.
And part of my life.
Yeah, and I think if I was to speak to like Liverpool fans right around the world right now, they're all going to be feeling in the same way because listen, when Arsene Wenger left Arsenal, it was a little bit different. I think if Klopp is leaving, he's leaving at the best time.
You really think that?
I think he's got so much more he can do, but at least he's leaving on a high. One of the things that disappointed me with Arsene Wenger is that he was an absolute great for Arsenal. Same sort of thing. It was more than just a manager, but it's just that he went on so long that in the end, it was almost like it was no longer on his terms. at least with this, Jurgen Klopp is leaving on his terms. I want to finally just ask you, before we go, obviously there's still a lot for him to achieve this season, but right now, what will be your greatest memory of what he's done for this club and legacy?
It's just so difficult to even accept that this is still happening. Do you know what? Probably nothing that happened on the pitch, which I think is the biggest compliment you can pay to him. What he's done, I mean, he's got the city, the keys to the freedom of the city of Liverpool. I think if you ask, and obviously, you know, someone that lives in Liverpool now, what he's achieved. I mean, I literally film all of our away games at Jurgen's. What's that going to be called?
It will still be Jurgen's.
It will still be Jurgen's, but it's
Sean Dyche's place is still Sean Dyche's.
To even answer your question is going to take me some time to think about, because obviously you can look at the Champions League win, the Premier League win. Maybe there's even still more memories that are still to come that could end up being the biggest memory, but it's his impact on the city of Liverpool, Rob. It's the positive light that he's shone on the people, the cultures in Liverpool. I mean, he's done it and seen it all. He is our new Shankly. He is the modern day Bill Shankly, and everything that he's achieved on the pitch, incredible. He turned us from doubters to believers. But I think his legacy and his impact on the city of Liverpool is going to last a lot longer than anything he did on the pitch. And to achieve that, that's like legend status, man. That goes beyond what any silverware you can pick up, because you can pick up silverware, someone else picks it up the next year. But what he's achieved for the city of Liverpool is something that I'm super grateful for, and I'll never forget. And long live the king.
Well, that's the news today. It's sad for all Liverpool fans that Jurgen Klopp is leaving the club. From his own words, he's done this video that's come out on Liverpool's official channel. Jurgen Klopp has decided to leave Liverpool at the end of the season. It's a real surprise to the whole world of football. Who's coming in next? Who's going to take over that mantle? Can whoever come in fill those shoes of what Jurgen Klopp's done, which has been absolutely incredible at Liverpool? Would love to hear from you guys, especially if you're a Liverpool fan, in the comments. What does this mean for Liverpool going forward? And also, what are your greatest memories of Jurgen Klopp now that we know that at the end of the season, he's going to be leaving? If you want big updates on it, go across and check out AGT on the COP TV. I'm sure they're going to be covering this, for the next few months. So if you want to get up to date with everything that's happening on that, go over onto the COP TV. But it's been confirmed today once again that Jurgen Klopp, the manager of Liverpool, will be leaving the club at the end of the season. Huge news in the world of football. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe here to DR Sports.